little bit. So, we moved into Omole some years back, almost like 16 years ago. When we moved to Omole, I was the one who found the house, the duplex we were living there. Because I found the house, I have to take the master bedroom. Right? When we moved into the house, our mom came. She visited us. From Jos, she came. I greeted my mom. This was like when my son was like 5, 6 months old. When my mom visited, of course, I have to give my mom the master bedroom, and I joined Paul's room. My mom didn't come in. She came out. You all know our mom is a pastor. She came with 3 of her pastors. When my mom came, next thing, I greeted my mom. I was just smiling. You know, you're expecting like a mother to be like, how is your new baby? My mom didn't ask. My mom just said, hi, Lola. I just said, she's fine. She said, can you tell her to come tomorrow? I said, okay, you want to see the baby? I'll tell her. She said, no. Let her not come with the baby. I said, Mom, why? You don't want to see the baby? She just said, no. Let her come first. My people, how do you guys expect me to call Lola? Because Lola was living on the island. We were living in Omole, mainland. How do you expect to tell Lola, my mom wants to see you, and Lola will not come with the baby? It took me 3 hours thinking of. I had to go and meet one of the pastors. I said, is there anything? He said, no, don't worry. Your mom said Lola should not come with the baby. Just leave it that way. I said, okay. And I finally got an idea. And I called Lola. Hey, babe, what's up? My mom is in town. Oh, really? And she wants to see you. She said, oh, nice. She wants to see the baby. Okay, I'm going to give the baby a bath once I get up. I said, Lola was so excited. I said, Lola, do not come with the baby. She was like, why? I said, because we fumigated the house. It's not going to be good for the baby to inhale. She said, when did we do the fumigation? I said, even our mom is actually uncomfortable about it, but she just have the money. So it's not good for the baby. And I said, okay. The next day, Lola came. She called me that she's at the gate. I went outside. While Lola sat in the living room, I didn't see anybody in the house. I didn't see any of my brothers, the pastors. I expected to see them in the living room where Lola was. I didn't see any of them. Just let me go check. And I opened the door. In that my master bedroom where my mom was, everybody was seated. Even our firstborn, the one that is older than the next person before Jude, that lives in Lagos, was there. Tony, my brother, was there. The pastors were there. Paul and Jude were there. When I came, I said, okay, Lola is around. They said, tell her to come. The way I was walking to go and call Lola, I was uncomfortable. But I didn't say anything. I brought Lola. Enter the room. That was my room. Master bedroom, which there's a bed and there's a couch. Nobody stood up to say, hey, Lola, sit down. Lola just entered. Good morning, ma. Everybody did. Nobody even cared to say, Lola, come and sit down here or anything. Nobody. I and Lola sat on the floor in my room. I and Lola sat on the floor. Next thing my mom said, young woman, we the Okoye families here have decided you should leave our son alone. I said, Mom, what's going on? Next thing. Now, because few days before that moment, me and Lola had a little quarrel, as a couple quarrel. Lola was looking at me thinking, maybe I planned it to exit the relationship. Lola just said, babe, what's going on? I said, Lola, come on. I said, Mom, what's going on? Next thing Jude just said, leave our brother alone. I look at Jude's face. It is like Jude said, it is like carry water from mouth. I'm like, hey, can anybody? Everyone there tried to calm Jude down.
That clip you just watched is Peter Okoye of the P Square narrating, how his family, maltreated. It's a very, very long series, currently trending online, but that's not even why we're here, right? We're here because it seems like some of the genesis of their problems started with the fact that he decided to marry, or at first impregnate, and then subsequently marry Lola, who was 9 years older than him and also from a different tribe. And this particular part of the story has sparked a conversation online, which for me revealed that we are not as different from our parents as we think we are. And there were people online talking about how they were, let's be honest, right? There's no how your mothers would have ever allowed you to marry a woman that was 9 years older than you. Especially given the fact that he was already very successful at that point. And that's true. But that in itself is a problem that we need to address. I personally genuinely feel like family members overrate their roles in weddings and marriages. Your role is simple. Be the support and the bedding rock, the bed, whatever it is, of the couple that is marrying. If your reason for objection does not have anything to do with the person's character, history, criminal record, whatever it is, if it's based on any other thing but that, then your opinion is invalid. And we have seen for centuries, families frustrate women, especially, that they don't approve of for their sons. And people online, well, the internet was split into two. Some people were understanding the mother of, the family of Peter for, not accepting the woman. And then there are some that are like, you guys don't realize that you fearing the opinions of your parents this much, to the point where anything they say is final in your own lives, is a product of what I was talking about when I first started my channel, which is the effect of beating. Grown adults cannot make decisions for themselves. Grown adults cannot make decisions for themselves because they've already been wired for 15 to 20 years to take anything their parents says as gospel. After my parents did from the start, my mom did from the start, any objection you might have for who I choose to spend the rest of my life with whenever that time comes, is you keep it to yourself. As far as it has nothing to do with her character. If it's about the person, her character, if it's about maybe her past, fine and good. If it's something I don't know that you need to tell me, fine and good. But if it's minor things like, age gap, like height, like tribe, race, keep that to yourself. It's unimportant. Because at the end of the day, the number one thing that makes a good marriage is not any of these things. Is who those people are, their characters. If that is not your major concern, then what is your concern? What's your business? You have none. I feel again, I started this video saying that, and I'm going to say it again. Family members overrate their roles in marriages. Because your role is simple. Be a bedrock. Be a rock solid rock to those people that are in the marriage. If there are issues, you help them solve it. But not when they want to get married and you're busy bringing your own, this man that you brought, I don't find him good looking. And so, this man that you got, are you sure this is the best you can do? And so, it's not you that's getting married. It's not you that's in the wedding. But let's talk about this whole age gap thing. All right? I feel like age gaps are some of the most overrated aspects of it. Like, it is the most overrated part of companionship. Age gap. It means nothing. When two people love and respect each other, it means nothing. Age gap genuinely means fuck all. It does. We have placed too much importance into age gap because we have this dynamic of a marriage that a man is going to have total authority over his wife. So when she's older than him, they feel like he loses control of the home. When it's not like that, marriage is a partnership. Yin and yang. Both parties work hand in hand to make it work. And a woman, regardless of age, if she loves and respects you, is going to respect you regardless, whether she's older than you or not. Right? People being fixated on age tells me that they have this weird dynamic or weird ideal relationship dynamic where they want one party to have super control over the other. And those same people will not be problem if the roles are reversed. If it's a man married a woman that is 9 years younger than him, it's a different demographic that will not be offended. Demographic that will not be offended when a woman is marrying a guy that is 5 younger than her will not be offended because they see it as territory. At the end of the day, both parties, as far as these are two consenting adults. Are these two consenting adults? Yes, they are two consenting adults. What's your business? What's your business? You bless the marriage, you bless the union, and you move on. The conditions of marriage, in my opinion, are simple. Is that person a good person? Yes. Do you guys love each other? Yes. Is the person not a good person, a responsible person? Because marriage is also our responsibilities. There are times where you may not wake up just like a job. You wake up and you don't feel like doing it, but you do it regardless. Sense of responsibility. Yes, those three things are intact. There's nothing else. There's absolutely nothing else. It is race, age, language, tribe. Dare I would say religion. We need to do better as a people. We need to grow up from some mindsets like this. How can a society progress when they place too much importance on minute things when it comes to a partnership, when it comes to a marriage? How are we going to progress? And how are we also going to progress when people cannot make decisions and stand for themselves? I'm glad that Peter Okoye in this scenario actually stood by his wife and made sure that she didn't. Because some men are pussies. I'm sorry, they are bitches. They are going to be, sway by their family, and then small by small they start resenting their wife for things that their family has planted in their head. But I'm glad that Peter was able to ignore that, defend his wife, and the other brothers are divorced. I mean, Paul is in his second marriage already, so I mean, those guys have had a lot of say about somebody else's marriage. At least one person's marriage is still going on. He's still with his wife, and they have beautiful kids. So what are we saying?